ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back for episode 4 of the Barbells, Burgers and Bitchin podcast. This episode is going to be another Q&A designed purely by questions you guys have asked us. And we have a nice variety today. We've got some funny ones, some interesting ones, and then some genuinely productive ones that are going to help you improve your training, your nutrition, and just overall help you get more gains. I'd like to start off this by apologising in advance if my voice doesn't hold up. I have currently had no voice for the last couple of days, but today she's made a reappearance, so we're taking full advantage of her and jumping into this podcast. So if I start sounding like I smoked 40 a day, we've just used all she had left. Yes, shall we jump into it? Anything to add before we get into the first question?
No, you always do good at the intros. I just let you roll. You're good at it.
Right, okay. So, first question asked is, Alex, what is your favourite ice cream?
Okay, so I have some questions before I can answer this question.
Text is needed, always.
I mean, yeah, post about it all the time. Are we going purely just flavours, or are we going like off brands?
I interpreted that question as brand and then flavour of the brand. Like, what is your favourite ice cream? Like, if you were like, I'm really craving ice cream, I want ice cream.
I'm thinking, are we talking just like vanilla, chocolate, strawberry?
No.
Or are we going like Ben and Jerry's specific flavour?
Eat your heart out and dive your head into a pint of ice cream. Like, what are you picking? What should we go to?
Ben and Jerry's Baked Alaska.
Baked Alaska, you basic bitch.
Oh, white chocolate. Not white chocolate chunks. I love it. That's a basic bitch.
Such a basic bitch answer.
It's
good.
Something fucking extravagant. Oh, yes, I have caviar ice cream.
Oh, caviar's gross. Have you had caviar? Well, it's not gross. It just tastes salty.
Good one.
Would you try caviar? Do you know what it is?
Fish eggs. Is it?
Yeah. Would you try it?
I mean...
You like fish?
You're not really selling it.
It's not bad. It just doesn't, it's just salty.
Oh, caviar. Salty.
It's like the same as oysters. People they're so expensive. And I'm just like, you're just slurping sludgy salt. And people are like, I'll put Tabasco on it, put lemon on it. It just tastes like spicy salt. It's not...
That's the same thing with my attitude with coffee. If people have to put...
Whoa, that is outrageous.
But at that point, we're all saying like people put stuff on it because it's salty to get it down, then it's not tasty if you have to mask it with other stuff. It's my same point with people that say they can only have coffee if they...
Oh, yeah, but that's not...
But if they don't like coffee, you like a sweet thing to just...
No, I agree with that.
Pile of shit that coffee is.
I don't agree with that bit. I agree with the fact that if you can only have coffee, it's like a triple caramel iced latte, then you don't like coffee.
Bitter mud water is horrible.
You just haven't had good coffee. I told you. No.
And the only way I like coffee...
No, you've had Starbucks.
No, you made me one and I liked it. And why did I like it? Tell them why I liked it.
You liked it because it had 2 sugars in it.
No, did I have more than 2 sugars?
Never had 2 sugars in it.
Right, so basically I liked it because I was making the bitter thing sweeter.
Yes, but that's fine because I feel like everybody at some point has to be like titrated into it, and we'll just wean you off the sugar and it's fine. You'll grow up and have the palate of an adult and learn to like coffee.
What's your favourite ice cream?
My favourite?
Seeing as I'm a basic... better fucking blow my nut off tonight, I'm going to call you the fuck out.
Oh, that's really hard. I love ice cream. Like, I think ice cream is probably my thing.
Look how she's skirting around it.
No, but I really don't know what I would pick. Because if it was like, if I had the option to have like a really nice pistachio gelato, if that was accessible to me, that would be my go-to. But like, I don't have there's no ice cream parlours near us in Dalton.
And I would eat that with my pinky sticking out.
No, pistachio gelato is just... It's 10 out of 10 with hazelnut, actually. Pistachio and hazelnut gelato. Chef's kiss. But if we're talking like I'm nipping to Tesco and grabbing a pint of ice cream, I'm going to get... I was going to say fish food, Ben and Jerry's.
And you're calling me a basic bitch with fish food?
Or the chocolate brownie one.
I think fish food is more basic than Baked Alaska.
I like cookie dough. No. Fish food gets loads of I think. Do you not?
I like fish food. But
I do, but I think it gets a lot of hate.
I think fish food is more popular than Baked Alaska.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well,
we should look at the stats.
We'll let the people decide. We'll do a poll.
Yeah, that can be the poll, fish food or Baked Alaska.
Yeah. And
then you've got Haagen-Dazs, so that's a really good ice cream as well.
Less people go Baked Alaska, I win, because then it's not as popular. And I think fish food's more popular than Baked Alaska. But I get called a basic bitch by you for liking Baked Alaska. Why is that basic bitch? I'm really butthurt about this. Why is it basic bitch?
Because I've just heard so many people say that that's their favourite Ben and Jerry's flavour.
Yeah, because it's good.
Yeah, but to me, like, it's got so much going on. It's got like the chocolate ice cream, it's got like the marshmallow, it's got the little chocolate fish. It's just got like a lot going on that's really interesting. Whereas like the Baked Alaska is just white chocolate. Is it vanilla ice cream or white chocolate ice cream?
I'm not eating it because it's fucking interesting. I'm eating it because it tastes nice. It's not a fucking Shakespeare novel. Oh, how did you like Act 2 of your Ben and Jerry's baked tilapia? I didn't. I liked it. It tastes.
This is a perfect example of why our food choices could never they vary so much. Whereas I like things that are different. I like things that are interesting all the time. I like variety. Whereas he's like, I like reliable. I like consistency. I like the same thing.
Yeah, I usually didn't taste good, not because I'm.
That's so fair. I think that's so fair. I just think you're wrong.
Well, I'm sure people will let me know.
I'm joking. It's nice.
Bitch.
It's nice.
I'd like to know from being a basic.
Maybe that should be the poll. Is white baked Alaska? Sorry, white chocolate baked Alaska. Is that basic bitch behaviour? We'll let the people decide.
Am I a basic bitch?
I don't think you're a basic bitch.
Do you know?
No, you make it like your sole purpose to not be a basic bitch.
My sole bollocks. What do you mean sole purpose?
Because if anything looks remotely trendy, or if anything's like following the crowd, you're like, no, I'm not doing that. I'll put up on.
I do stuff that's I'm also not. I have no fashion sense, so I wear what I'm comfortable and I like.
That's fine.
So I don't follow trends with clothes because some people just like you see the fashion shows and the models walking down. They're like Bergs.
We'll just use a classic example of his content. So like anyone knows who creates content, and you try to encourage its engagement, and you try to get more people to see your content. Obviously, the purpose of our job, like our social media platforms, yes, we love using them to show off what we want, to create the content that we enjoy, but we have to understand that it is a marketing tool for our business and for our services that we offer. Out of principle, Alex refuses to use any sort of trending audios or follow any trends or do anything like that. That could generally,
that's basic bitch.
Well, is it though, or is it just like you're playing the game?
But you're your own person.
No, that's what you're saying, but you're playing the game.
Individuality is way more important. I've had people say they like my stuff. You know how
I agree.
Because I'm to the point.
Yeah, no.
Bullshit. And people find that funny.
I get it. No, I do. I get that. And I think there is a place for that. But I also think sometimes you have to almost play the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game, whatever.
I do hate the player and the game. And I will die on that hill.
Because you have a lot to offer to people. So in order to help them see your content more, sometimes you just have to lean into what works.
So I should get my ass and tits out just to sound. You know how all these basic, all these basic bitch influencers. Like, come on a leg day with me, and all the cameras are up their artists as they're doing squats and pulls and all this kind of shit. Should I actually? That could be the poll. The people want to see me in leopard print on doing the leg day and see if that fucking gets more engagement.
I don't think you want to ask that for
let's do a social experiment. I'll do it and I'll get a mankini and I'll do that.
For mankini?
Yeah. People would love to see me doing some, adductor stuff in the...
That might be your claim to fame. That might be it.
Yeah, but then if on my page, I like to think personally, I've got some good stuff in there, I've got some informative stuff. If me basically flashing my arse is what gets me the boost, that shows that everything's fucked up with the world right now. And it proves my point.
That took a real bad turn.
Anyway, I actually answered the question about favourite ice cream. Yeah.
The second question I had to prepare for, so I've done some research.
I also did it as well, but I think you went in more detail, so we'll use yours. I got asked by, so I've got a group chat with all my online lot on, and I was like, "Hey guys, we're doing me and Hannah filming the pod today."
We just asked our clients for some questions that they have.
Just send me some stuff. And I was expecting, because before when I've asked them individually, I've had some good response. The amount of shit I got in that, and I sent you a screen recording of it, the amount of shit I got in that, some of the stuff I can't say on here really.
It's not appropriate. It probably gets cancelled.
Yeah. But one of them was, how many ants would it take to lift me and take me somewhere? Was it against my will or something? How many ants would it take to lift and drag me away?
I found the exact question.
And it's I was like, cheers guys, I was hoping that you'd give me something on training or nutrition that we could talk about, but also, if you want to know how many ants it would take to lift me, then I'm sure we can answer that as well.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is this what Henry said?
How many ants... how many ants do you think it would take to carry you away? Preferably rounded to the nearest whole ant.
Like I was going to give half ants. Well, I crushed the last guy, and it's only half of the boy.
Oh, you shouldn't have calculated it then. You should have guessed, and I should have told you.
Well, I can't remember what the number is.
Oh, okay, perfect. Because
I can roughly remember.
I've calculated a range, so we have it depends on the species of ant.
Because that's one of the followers was, I want the species of ants as well. How it would differ between, because leaf cutters I'd imagine would be the strongest.
I think they were kind of middle ground.
Cutters were only middle ground.
They were stronger end, but they were I think the species. We did see leaf cutter ants. They're strong. They can hold up to 50 times, sometimes more, their body weight.
Yeah.
And the body weight can range from something like 3 to 10 milligrams. What?
Do the math because I can't work out what 50 times that is.
Oh, okay, so let me show you. Okay, now, more specific body mass. So Alex roughly fluctuates around 105 to 107 kilos. So, like, I just went with 105.
I feel better about myself.
Actually,
But less answer, isn't it?
no, because I feel like whenever you've measured yourself and it's 107, you've done it at the end of the night. So, which is just inaccurate anyway. So, alas,
Not if it's the same time I weigh myself.
well, it's not a true reflection of your body weight, though.
I'm just trying to be a snob, I know.
Unless you're going to get the ants to carry you after, like,
Could they
4 meals.
carry food to me? That's what I want the ants for. Screw them carrying me. I want to train the ants to carry food to me. It's like slave labour, but with ants.
So we have 3 different scenarios here. The conservative estimate. So we are going off the basis that if an average ant weighs 1 milligram,
What the
and it can lift, it's 10 times its body weight, which is like the lower end of what an ant's capable of doing, then theoretically we are going to need 10.5 million ants to carry Alex.
That's not the number I got.
No, I know.
That's
Scenario 2. No, scenario 2, we've got the stronger side, so the other end. So if a strong ant, I can lift because your ant approximately weighs about 10 milligrams, which, it's been found to, and it can lift 50 times its body weight. It can lift 500 milligrams. Based on Alex weighing 105 kilos, if we're dividing 105 milligrams by 500 milligrams, then you only require 210,000 ants to lift your body weight, which is dramatically different to the first scenario. So very much depends on the species of ant. We also have a middle of the range suggestion, which if an ant weighs 10 milligrams, the same as the strong ones, but it can only lift 20 times its body weight. So it's not quite jacked, but it's trying. It can lift approximately 200 milligrams. Based on that number, we are going to need 525,000 ants. So it's very much choose your player. So huge. So anyway, we're looking at anywhere between 210,000 ants to 10.5 million ants, depending on how much trend they take.
You know what we need to do?
What?
We need to go to a zoo.
Oh, that was the next question I was going to ask, and I didn't Google.
I want to go to to ask the zookeeper. I say zookeepers, like ants run off all the time. But should we get how many ants they've got and see if I can just lie down? If the ants, how would you get ants to in unison carry me though? Could I pretend I'm a leaf?
Is it just a visible?
No, because they cut the leaf up, don't they? So they probably nibble parts of me apart and take me individually, and then.
Okay, apparently, we can't estimate how many numbers of ants are in the UK.
Why?
Well, I was going to try and figure out how many ants from different countries.
I could be like
if you could recruit the entire.
Who's this? Is he just called the rat catcher? No, who's it?
I've got no idea where you're going with
Pied
this. Oh yeah,
he had the rats.
Was it rats?
There was some guy that played a thing and then rats came. We need to do that with ants. We need to see if ants respond to me playing a recorder or a flute and see if I can round up all the ants and then have a little ant army.
Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed that question. You didn't like it, but
I was just expecting some questions I could actually
I thought it was an interesting one, because now if you ever need to be shipped off by ants, you need 10.5 million.
But the thing is, that's assuming that they all work in perfect unison and they understand the task we want to give it to them. I feel like the hardest thing about that would be to get to the ants. To first of all decode what language ants speak and how they communicate, and then Google essentially speaking Google, and then Google translate what I want to do to the ant, and then get the. I just go like, right, boys, I'm going to lay down here. If you could all host me, that'd be great.
But that's assuming they can even get under you, because then distributing your mass might be a different ballgame. Anyway, I think we've spoken enough about this.
I could be on a slightly elevated service. I could get them all to take my weight, and then we could slowly lower me down onto them.
Now you're really asking them to understand the concept of infrastructure and
we need ants that understand.
Are they intelligent? We know they're strong relative to their their mass and their exoskeleton.
We have to find the foreman ant that then gets the ants on the other building sites to.
Perhaps this is something we can, look at later down the line. If anyone knows how we can potentially construct this experiment, that would be cool. Drop it in the comments below.
Maybe they could construct like a 3D print.
Moving swiftly on to question number 3. This one's actually relevant.
Finally, a fitness question.
What do you do, or what do you do with your clients? So either you or your clients, or what would you help with your clients if they hit a lull in their training?
What a good-looking question, Han.
Thanks. Came from him.
What to do if you hit a lull in training? I think, should I give both perspectives as me, as a...
Well, what do you think helps you, and what do you help with your clients? Or help your clients?
I don't really... I don't know if my answer, for me personally, it's going to be, it's not toxic, but I suppose it's.
Well, what works for you isn't what you program for a client, and that's fine. But
Okay.
this is
Okay,
unfiltered. This podcast is
I'll do the what I would do for people, and then I'll do my thing. So I think the biggest thing, what?
That's it.
Because it's not going to, my answer's not going to be the answer or what I would tell people to do. I don't think. For people, if I had a client that was struggling, I think massive thing, like we spoke about in podcast episode 3. Kevin, listen, go check it out. Goal setting.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a lot of the time we have this overreaching goal of I want to be strong, or I want to run a thing in this time, or I want to be this percentage of body fat, I want to lose this amount of weight. And that's like the big end goal. That's like your 5 years down the line type thing where it's like that's in the distance. A lot of people then don't set little goals along the way. So you kind of go, right, when you get into this, you realise, and you realise that actually this is a long haul. It's not going to be like a instant gratification thing every single time. So it's like, well, obviously, say your main goal is to bench 140 kilos, and that's like you've just started out in the gym, but that's what you'd like. Okay, well, 140 is probably going to be a couple of years because you need to get big enough, you need to get strong enough, all that kind of shit. So maybe initially it's, let's do the bar with good form for like 10 good reps. Okay, let's tick that off. Okay, cool. And then the next one might be doing 40. And then so like as you tick those little goals off, you're setting another one. So yes, the overreaching goal is still 140, but you're setting up little things along the way to get there. If it's a total case of like it's not just a little bit of a lull, you're having a full-on crisis, I would say probably, I don't know if you can agree with me on this or not, maybe in the short term you just try and make it fun. You try and do something that makes you fall in love with training again. Because you see that sometimes with like professional like powerlifters, bodybuilders. Sometimes you see them switch, don't you? Like I think is it Jamal Browner, deadlifter guy?
Yeah.
He did like a side quest of doing a bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, especially at that level, you get so, it becomes your life and you become so focused. It's almost like having a temporary little change of pace and doing something.
It's almost like having a hobby, because when you're so intense or intensely focused on something like the level they are, it no longer really becomes a hobby. It becomes more of like a job.
Because I think with this question as well, like anything, I'm the first one to say it requires context. Like we're all different. How much we need to pivot and adjust depending, because how big's the lull? What is your personality like? Etc. Is all going to be factored into like how you respond to these things. And yes, like if your goal is to get stronger, not doing strength training for a bit is probably going to not be the most productive thing. But if it's let's make it fun in the short term and step away and just make it enjoyable so you fall back in love with it again, is the lesser of two evils. Then you just sack it off and you become a fat slob and you just start getting to eating pizza on the sofa and not doing anything. You know what I mean? So I think it's like, and just sometimes all it takes is like a week or two of maybe just taking a bit of a step back and just doing something that's a bit more enjoyable to kind of get that spark back and fall in love. Because I think the other thing as well as a coach is if someone says to me like, oh, I'm not enjoying this thing, if it's like a certain exercise, and if they're not like because the majority of people I've got aren't going to be like competitive power lifters or anything like that. It's just, a lot of them are gen pop trying to do it. Like, because they haven't got
lifestyle focused.
Yeah, because they haven't got that massive goal of like, they're going to enter a competition, they're going to run this, they're going to do that. Like, ultimately, in the grand scheme of stuff, what exercises they're doing doesn't matter. Like, if you're going to do a powerlifting meet, obviously you have to back squat, you have to barbell flat bench, and you have to deadlift. So those 3 movements need to be in your program because those are the things you're going to be doing. Like, if I've just got someone that's had it and they're like, do you prefer doing a conventional deadlift or a trap bar deadlift? Yes, they work slightly different things, but I'm still training that pattern roughly on the whole. So like, if in the short term they prefer a trap bar over a straight bar, I'm going to give them the thing they enjoy because that's going to make them actually want to turn up to the gym and do the thing. Because we can always then do other exercises further down the line that's going to cover the stuff that they haven't addressed doing the conventional. But it's the whole thing of enjoyment.
And the variation.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't like split squats, right? And there's like a minimum ways to train your quads if that's what the goal is. So if someone's really like, I don't want to do this, I'm having a bit of a lull, I'm in a bit of a shit time, I'll take that out and just give them something that's going to work their quads. It's still achieving the same thing, but it's making it more enjoyable. So I think, especially for that demographic of people, if you're one of those people listening, it's very important to make it enjoyable, because the main thing with this is being consistent. And if you're not consistent because you fucking hate it, then you're never going to get to where you want to be. My answer to what do I do in a lull, it's a talk. I just get on with it.
Why is that toxic?
Well, because it's not like I don't know whether that's the right thing, but I think for me it's because...
Does it work?
Yes.
So why do you think it's not the right thing?
Because there's like the whole like, oh, just get on with it, just just get your head down. Is that insensitive?
Do you think that's toxic, or do you feel like that's toxic because of what society tells us we should do?
Yeah, fuck them. No, I just think for me now, because it's because it's like, in terms of the main things in my life, it is like an important thing. So because I've built it into such a habit and a routine, even when I'm a bit like, oh, this is a bit shit, I know ultimately I will feel better after doing the thing. But not, I think that's the thing that people don't realise, like, especially with us as coaches. We don't want to, like, there's times that we don't want to train. We go through periods where I'd rather fucking stay in bed. But, like, because we've made it a habit, because we've built it in, you turn up anyway.
I think your response and your opinion of your response also requires context, because I think I don't think there's anything wrong with just gritting your teeth and cracking on.
No.
I think more people should learn to be able to do that, and I think it very much aligns with society's understanding of, like, oh, the bunch of snowflakes in the world. Or, like,
that's why I was only ignoring, because it's like, it's the whole thing. You know how, because, like, when I exploded my finger, I carried on finishing that set because I looked down at my finger and I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this for a while. Now, would I tell a client to do that in that situation? No. But
that probably would violate our insurance.
But, like, I feel like, is this going to sound arrogant or big-headed? But I feel like you have to be a bit of a...
What? Say what you want to say.
Unhinged, a bit loose in the head.
What?
To do, like, to get to the level like we do, where, like, obviously we're competing in it and we want to, like, push our bodies to the whatever. I think there has to be some degree of, like, embracing the suck, embracing that feeling of, like, you're feeling like shit or it's hurting or whatever. And I think, like you're saying about in society, I think that's what a lot of people I'm going to go off on I won't go long on this tangent, but I feel like it's relevant. It's one of the things that used to fucking frustrate me when I worked in, like, gyms, is because you'd have people come up to you and be like, oh, I don't want to, like, I don't want to get too bulky. I don't want to get too strong. I don't want to look like you. And it's like, you do.
The way people just think that that's, like, okay to say.
And it's like, well, one, it's like, okay, ouch. It's like, what's wrong with me? Bitch.
Cheeky fuck. How long it took me to get like this.
But that's the thing. It's like, you do not understand what it took to get here. I didn't just fucking roll out of bed, touch a dumbbell, and, like, lift the weights that I do. It's like, because obviously you're working for a company, I've got my fucking name badge on the company's t-shirt, so I can't go what I want to say. It's like, yeah, actually, Karen, it's not going to fucking work for you because you train like a pussy and you haven't got the fucking mentality for it.
Yeah.
But you go, yes, okay, sure, I'm sure we can fix that for you. I'm sure we can do this stuff. And it is almost like, I suppose I can say, because this is how my opinion is, I do think a lot of people just don't have that grit, or they don't realise to actually... like, to get past that gem pop stage, and actually, if you're serious about training, you have to be a bit tapped. Like, how many times have you programmed a squat AMRAP for your clients? Yeah, and how many times have you done it in training?
Enough.
Right. So that's the gap, isn't it? Like, we know that we, like, and that's because everyone's on a different stage of their journey. Like, that's absolutely fine. Like, I wouldn't be a psychopath and give that to someone that's not ready for it. Absolutely. But, like, doing a deadlift AMRAP or a squat AMRAP or a bench AMRAP, it fucking sucks. Like, your lungs are burning, your quads are on fire, and it's also like the whole classic stereotype of your mind gives out before your body is 100% true.
Yeah.
Part of an AMRAP is just having the fucking grit to get it done. Like, you want to rack that bar 5 reps before you're actually ready to give up.
Yeah, physically.
Yeah. So it's like, so I say, like, the lull is like, sometimes as the coach, I like, you sympathize. It's like, I want to be, obviously, the main thing is for you guys is I want to make sure you're consistent with it, you're turning up. And if you have to make that a bit fun for a bit just to get you back into it, absolutely. But then there's the other half where it's just like, dude, just suck it up. Like, again, not to fucking be a martyr or anything. I've been injured with this back thing that's been ongoing because I haven't really known what's been going on for years. I've still trained fucking lower body. There's still a way. If I didn't train because I had a little bit of discomfort, I wouldn't have trained for the past 6 years.
I think that's where your passion, though, and where your I guess values come into play, because we highly, highly value training. Like, you can hear that I've not been 100% over the last few days. Like, not once have I considered to not train. The only reason...
But that's the thing, like...
And that's not me saying, like, you should train through sickness. Like, you shouldn't. There's a time and a place. But it's going to take us, like, again, not something we'd necessarily always recommend our clients. And, of course, there's going to be times where we're like, no. I don't even think it's that. Like, there's been times where I've been ill and I've not trained because I've known, like, this is going to do me a lot worse. is.
Yeah, I haven't done that. I've trained through fucking sinus
Well, you're a
infections.
stupid idiot. No, I wouldn't disagree with that. I think sometimes that's feasible. It's not always.
But I mean, in terms of like, then you have your clients when you go like, oh, I don't feel very well.
No, but,
and it's like,
but what I'm saying is that like that's not something we encourage because we value it and we love it so much and we depend on it so much.
I know what you mean.
It's really going to have to take us something to sit down to be willing to accept we're not going to do this, and that's not just us. That goes for a lot of people who are highly valued. The same as like, I don't know, someone who loves going to work. I don't know, that maybe they're really passionate about their job and they're ill. They're still going to go to work. We see it all of the time, and it's the same like where someone hates their job, they're going to take any excuse they can to not have to go. So if they just have a tiny sniffle that they could work through, they're going to throw in the time like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sick today. Like, it's the same with training. If you don't love training, if you're not passionate about training, if you don't really highly value training, you're going to take any sort of opportunity to drop out if you can. So this is why like the enjoyment factor matters so much in the process. Like, even if it's not quote unquote optimal, if it's going to be what gets you in that gym, if it's going to be like what gets you going and keeps you consistent, then that's more important.
Because I did that when I was younger. Like, I did, like, when I was with my mates after school, I didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing. And a lot of the workouts were based on what we liked. Like, we deadlifted for 3 hours. Is that optimal? No, fuck no, but we did it because that's what made me go in there. I like deadlifting. I'm going to fucking deadlift for 3 hours. We're going to go do a pyramid set. We're going to work all the way up to a top set. We're going to hit that top set, and then we're going to do some back downs. And then we might do some fucking rows or something.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, at that point of the time, that's what made me want to go to the gym. I fucking love training. I love working hard. I didn't have a fucking clue about how to program or anything like that. But doing those crazy things like that squat pyramid, when I came up and down, and I had to lie on my bed in the fetal position because I thought I was going to fucking throw up and die and my head was going to explode. Like, there's a time and a place for doing that stuff because that is what, if I look back, it's those things that made me enjoy it. It's the sadistic thing, isn't it? Training like hard. Not a lot of people would like that, but that's the thing that made me want to do it. I like that.
Yeah.
But that was fun. Like now, if I look at my training and I went, "Oh, should I do a whole 2 hours of squats?" No.
I think you're also relatively a footload stronger, so you doing 2 hours of squats would absolutely fry your nervous system.
But yeah, it's the stuff that you, like you were saying, especially now with like the quote unquote snowflakey people. It's really hard, especially with content and everything, to grit your teeth and just be like, I really want to say stuff.
No, I think that's what this is for, though.
You know, I know this platform is, but before we use this as our platform, it's like, you know, when you can't, sometimes you just want to do it, like, so you want to do a post where it's helping deep education.
Because you can't always give that context in 60 seconds.
And sometimes you just want to do is go, guys, shut the fuck up, go into the gym even if you don't feel like it, and do a session, because I promise you'll feel a hell of a lot better.
It's not going to feel worse.
No.
But no, just to add on to that, I think it's very much, you almost have to like triage the reasons why you're in a lull. So, you know, you can be feeling demotivated for so many reasons. It could literally be as simple as you're just really not enjoying the style of training, or it could be down to you underfueling. It could be down to you not looking after your headspace or not allowing for any sort of appropriate recovery or downtime. It could be down to hormonal fluctuations. It could be down to external stressors like family shit going on, relationship shit going on, like work stresses going on, and that could be creating or like carrying over to a lull in your training. Or it could be genuine physical fatigue. So if you're prepping for a comp, I remember in my recent competitions that I've done. So I had a comp in February this year. That was great. That ran really smoothly, absolutely fine going into that. I then prepped for Euros. That was absolutely savage.
That was an experience.
It was rough, but we made it through. I then had, 4 or 6 weeks? 6 weeks.
No, it wasn't long.
To turn around and prep for Nats. I hated every single session I went into. I was crying all the time. I felt so exhausted. I couldn't do basic tasks. Like I was getting up in the morning, like every morning feeling like I hadn't slept. I was struggling to like meal prep. I was struggling to do, but like every ounce of my energy would be put on doing stuff like client check-ins and programming. And then after I'd done that, I was like, that's it. I can't do anything else. And I just felt so incapable. I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. And I was thinking like, oh my God, am I even going to be able to do this? And I've never questioned my ability to finish something that I've started, to like get to that competition. But like at that point, I thought, I don't actually know if my body's going to carry me this much. But obviously then I would have considered that a bit of a lull in my training because I wasn't really enjoying anything. But I was just so physically exhausted. It wasn't really anything to do with the training itself. I just needed some time out. Like it wasn't that I hated powerlifting. It wasn't that powerlifting was doing that to me, essentially. It was just more that I was just tired because I'd done 3 competitions in a row, and that is taxing. So, you know, once you've done through like a bit of a restoration phase, you've taken some downtime, you've had some, you know, a little bit of variation in there, as Alex said, like you come back and I'm absolutely fine now. But then, you know, if it's a case that, you know, your load is being managed appropriately, you're eating sufficient amounts, you're taking quality downtime and recovery time, and it's just to be like, just feeling a bit demotivated today, that's where we'll turn around and be like,
No.
grit your fucking teeth and crack on, because you'll get through it. Like, you're not going to be bouncing into the gym every single day. You're not going to be wanting to go smash your runs every single morning. Like, if the weather's a bit bad, you might feel a bit like, I don't really want to do this. But no, that's the time when you'd be like, just crack on. But again, context dependent, because if it's any of those other things like nutrition related, programming related, fatigue management, that's where you need to look at you need to take a little bit more consideration around, like, okay, if you've been in a diet for a long period of time, you might be feeling demotivated because you're depleted. Maybe you need a little bit of a diet break. Maybe you need a little bit of a refeed just to be able to to pull back in order to continue pushing forward. Same like training. You might be physically fatigued. Have a little bit of a deload. You'll be surprised at how much that impacts your mental capacity to continue going. If you're not liking it because you've been doing the same thing over and over, have a little bit of variety for a few weeks, and then you might be called to keep going. I think we answered that well.
I think the deload bit's important as well, because there's usually some like precursors to know if you've burnt out because of that, isn't there?
Yeah.
But there's things to look out for. So like, as you get to know your body, you'll know if like, is it stuff like sleep quality goes, isn't it? If you need a bit of a break, like
your sleep quality
your
shafts
concentration
might increase, your body weight might increase.
So there's ways to know.
You're bloated, gut disruption.
There's ways to know if it's generally just like a bit of a I can't be arsed, or if there's general warning signs to say, hey dude, maybe you need to take a little step back and have a little bit of a bit of an easier week or a few easy sessions, and then reassess it, and then you can go from there. You know, but like Han said, you hit all the points. It's just there's a big difference between, oh, I don't really feel like it, and, oh, there's some genuine reasons why you're feeling like shit and you're having a bit of a lull. Because, like, I fucking hate the word, but externals.
It's true, though. It's true.
Like, life happens, and sometimes, you know, you've had some family thing, the cat's died, whatever, and the last thing you want to do is then
train.
But
sometimes with that, even that, it's worth just moving through, because it will get better.
But I think deep down, if we spoke to you, there's a difference between, you'll quickly if you just do some reflection, you'll know very quickly if it's I can't be arsed, or, oh shit, there's generally been some life stuff happening as to why I feel like crap and I don't want to train. And
both are valid. Everyone experiences both at some point in their life. Yeah. But obviously just knowing how to approach it is going to be different. Next question.
Breathe. Yes.
What lift are you most proud of?
You can start with that, because I started the other one and then I went off on tangents and shit. So let's talk. You can start the what lift are you most proud of, because I will probably ramble again.
What lift am I most proud of? I think, oh God, I think in the moment.
It doesn't have to be platform either. We could say train, like just
mine have both, I think, been on the platform for two different reasons. The one that comes straight to mind that I'm like, I was so happy after I hit that lift was my 80 kilo bench at Nats. And that I was most proud of that one because, as I've just said, that competition, I've never been so close to bailing on something in my life, and I don't bail, like, I'm not that kind of person. And no, I'm not being realistic here. I would have not quit, but like I just had no idea what my performance was going to be like. Everything was going low. I was recovering from an injury. Nothing was trending in the way I wanted it to. I was feeling shit. On the competition, I was on my period. Literally just started as well, so I was having all the cramps, feeling bloated, like low on energy, like brain fog. Everything. I thought literally anything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong today. I could barely stomach any food. I was doing everything that you shouldn't do pre-comp. Not intentionally, obviously, but my bench was something that was the only thing that was relatively consistent throughout that prep, even if like squats and deadlifts were not playing ball. And obviously I'd hurt my QL, so that was affecting a lot of it. An 80 kilo bench was kind of like a bit of a milestone for me, because it was like, at the time, actually, that was my first equivalent like bodyweight bench, because I'd also dropped some weight because I was ill in the lead up to that competition as well, so that added fuel to the fire. But yeah, that was like a bit of a milestone that I've been chasing for a while, so that was amazing. It was also so relieving, because it was like, thank God something good has come of this. The other one that I'm really proud of now, but didn't appreciate enough at the time because it just felt so easy and it flew, and I was not in my head about it, was my 170 deadlift that I got in February of this year. I've never been able to get 170 again to comp standard. I've lifted it, but I've been called for like hitching, what was the other one I got? Actually, I didn't lock it out.
You used soft lockout, wasn't it?
The third, I couldn't get it locked out. I got it right to the top and couldn't push the hips through. It nuts. Yeah, we won't go into that. I was going to say, actually, even though that failed, I was still really happy because in training I couldn't even pick up 160, and I got
be peaking.
The peaking. The taper did its thing. So if you're listening to this and you're in that position, trust the process. But in February when I lifted that 170 deadlift, deadlift was just my thing. Like, that was my lift that was just going so well. I've never had any issues with deadlifts. It was just going up and up. And I remember Dan, who's my coach and who was handling me, he was just like, I think it was 160 was my second attempt, and it flew off the ground. Everyone was like, what the fuck? And he was like, 170, and I was like, yeah. Didn't even question it, and it flew off the ground again. Like, it's never moved like that since. That being said, now I look back, the reason I got an injury was because my starting position and my technique was not where it should be. So when I was pushing heavier loads more consistently, I then ended up getting injured because my technique broke down. So I'm going to be even more proud when I hit 170 again with a much better execution, because even though I shifted the weight, it didn't look so pretty. And it was still technically to comp standard, but yeah, from like a coaching point of view, I can look back now and think like, oh, there's work to be done there. But
if you had to pick one out of the bench, the bench, sure.
The bench.
You mentioned another point about that leaves the bench. I don't know whether you want to go on a slight tangent and talk about it because I think it's very relevant.
Go on.
The whole thing about period. Because this is something that I know has annoyed you, and I think it might be a nice one to touch on because there's a lot of content out there.
We can touch on it for sure.
About that, and I think that'd be really cool because I don't think something like that.
I definitely want.
It can be a bit taboo, can't it?
It can, and I definitely want to do its own separate podcast.
Okay, so maybe we can do its own separate podcast if you want.
I think we should.
So I think it'd be a nice one to talk on because
there's so much you can talk on cycles.
Basically, very briefly, there's a lot of information about hormone fluctuations depending on where you are on your cycle. I don't know why I'm talking about this because I'm a man and I don't have periods and I haven't experienced this, but I will hand over to Hannah very quickly. It's one of those things where like strength, the whole thing is strength, where you are on your cycle can affect your strength. So they say the whole thing, women should do 3 weeks of this and on the week that it's dipping, take a deload or whatever. Well, I think it's one of those, it's almost like sometimes it can be like a self-fulfilling prophecy, can't it? If you believe you're going to be weaker at a certain time, then you're going to believe it, right? But Hannah proved that it wasn't. And that's not, Hannah's just, again, it's a very individual, it's very context-driven.
It is, right? But that's the point. It's very individual, so you can't blanket a statement these
You can't blanket a statement at all, but it's one of these things where, like, if you are someone that experiences worse symptoms, then absolutely. If you know that you consistently, at certain points of time, it drops and you're one of these people that gets massively affected by it, then absolutely. It might be worth programming around that and taking that into consideration. However, it's the same thing as when you see people say, oh, you should do a 3 weeks training cycle and then deload on the 4th. It's like, why take the deload on the 4th if you don't need it?
What did we decide? That's like taking a 4x12, 12 to 4.
Yeah, so you're taking all those time off. It's the same thing with like
48.
The cycle, your cycle. And
it's 48 weeks.
Yeah.
No.
Days.
And what?
Yeah. No, it's not. Yes. Yeah. No, it's 12. What the fuck am I talking? It's a week.
Yeah. What did you say?
I didn't say anything. You just started doing math. Now you blow my mind. The point is with something like that, it's like if you're a person that gets
1x12.
Yeah. Just stop with the
12 weeks.
You're gonna fuck whatever. But the whole thing with that point is the fact that you set a PR bench on the platform during that time. When if you look at some influencers, they go, "Oh, you shouldn't have been." You should have been doing yoga. You should have been doing a deload. You shouldn't have been touching heavy weights at that point. However, definitely touch on that because I think it's something that I know I've been sat next to you before where you've seen that come up and you've wanted to launch your phone at the wall.
Just because I feel like it really disempowers women and it makes them feel like they have to conform to this narrative that we are weaker on our period or like 1 to 2 weeks out of the month we have to adjust our entire lifestyle, our entire plan. We should be doing XYZ in our training. We should be eating like ABC in our food, like, and it's just so overwhelming and it makes us feel like, Jesus Christ, do we honestly have to change our routine like every week of the month? And then it's like, no, why are you overcomplicating it? For some women it might be beneficial to take certain considerations into the matter, but like for the wide majority, you can probably just keep chipping away at what you need to be doing. And maybe you might just need to, I don't know, have a little bit more rest in between. You might need a little bit more food to support you. You might need a little bit more sleep. You might need to just have some painkillers to ease the inflammation and the pains and the cramping. You might just need to take a fucking day off, not a whole week, It depends. And even then, I think most of the women who listen to this will understand that even that each month can be different. So some months you might be fine. Some months you might feel like you've been hit by a truck. But don't think it's going to be every single time you're preempting this like weakness and
it's that blanket statement, isn't it? And I think because that you see that, especially now, it's a lot of fear-mongering where that gets applied to everything. It's don't do this, do this. You shouldn't be doing that, do that.
It makes it confusing.
And then when you apply it to something like that, when you're saying, like, especially women who are trying to get into strength sports, which have been in the past stereotypically a male-dominated thing, and we want more women in this space and everything. And it's like, why are we trying to put even, especially, and the shocking thing is it comes from like a lot of female creators, doesn't it? It's like, why?
It's because it sells. It markets well.
Because it's a scaremongering thing. Oh, come and get coached by me because I know what I'm doing, kind of thing.
I'm a hormone specialist. Unless they're an endocrinologist.
Shut the fuck up.
Tell them to literally
we want more people in this space. We want more women in this space. Why before you even picking up a barbell, why are we putting fear-mongering stuff in and making you think 101 things? It's like Joe Wicks and the fucking protein. Why are you trying to put so many barriers into people getting involved? Anyway, we can do that.
We'll do an episode.
I mean, we could also do a poll about if this is something you want to talk about, but I think
we've got a million more polls we're apparently going to ask in. I think we're going to ask one.
I think this is a very good thing because it's a bit of a taboo subject that maybe not a lot of people want to talk about.
I've got a lot to say on it, so that's going to be more than a Q&A.
I'm very passionate about this because I had been with her and she nearly fucking raged when she saw all this bullshit, and I'm like, willy-nilly. Because it also pisses me off, and I'm not a fucking woman.
But that's because you coach women as well, and you see how much it affects them and confuses them and overwhelms them, and it's... Yeah, anyway. Last question. Shit, because, you started talking, you asked me about mine. What lift are you most proud of?
What lift am I most proud of?
I feel like the answer to this is surely obvious.
It is, but I want to give it some context.
Sorry, my dog's just come into the room if that's distracting. Carry on.
Yeah, so I think I haven't really been able to train low body properly for years because I've had this thing going on my back. I've seen one or two people about it. I've never really known what's going on. So every time it's gone, I've always had like a reoccurrence again. So it's been kind of a really disheartening thing to go through that, where I know that what I'm capable of and I know what I want to hit, but I haven't been able to do that yet. Whereas bench is the one that I've actually been able to be pretty consistent with and express that. And that's why, even though Hannah argues if I'm a powerlifter or not, why I competed in bench only because it's literally the only thing
it's a joke, guys. He was a powerlifter. I'm just taking the piss.
It's literally the only thing I could do without being in pain, because like there have been times where I could squat and deadlift, but to do both on the same day maximally, in my head I want to be able to like do it, do the best I can.
Yeah, I understand that.
And in training where I've had like a heavy deadlift and then followed by sub-max squats, it's just felt like shit and it's felt cranky. And I'm working with someone now and it's getting a lot better, but it's required to take a massive step back. So what happens in the future with that, I don't know. I want to do full power, but we'll see. So basically benching. I competed in August. I missed my third, which was 157.5. And then on Monday, I benched 160. So that's an all-time...
And it moved well.
It's an all-time PR, not peaked. I'm competing in December, beginning of December.
And that's...
So ask me that same question again, and hopefully it'll be very different because I've been able to hit even more on a platform. But that 160, to basically have all the shit where for a few years I kind of felt like I was stuck in the mud, not going anywhere, wanting to do these things and not being able to basically bench 160 and do like a fuck you was pretty cool.
That was the lift I thought you were going to say.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's the heaviest. Well, because the thing is that I've done the 157.5 and I've missed that.
Mm.
I hit it
twice in training.
I've hit it twice. The first one was shit. I then hit it a few weeks ago again, much tidier, and then I've hit 160 again Monday. So we're trending up, and it felt better than the 157. So,
and that's also post shoulder and pec.
Yeah, I won't go too much into that, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've still got a little bit of a pec niggle, but it's also... Well, even so...
It's the bench.
Oh, shoulder niggle, at least. He had a bit of an issue with the shoulder that seriously had to regress his bench as well, but...
Yeah.
Hey, you passed it. You've healed. You've rehabbed.
So, yeah.
Rehabbed.
160 for sure. Ask me that again in December, and hopefully it'll be more than that.
Last question.
Which is a very, very good question.
We're going to try and keep this, I think, relatively straightforward but effective, purely because...
They go off on tangents. Let me tell you that.
One, because we're trying to keep these episodes in a relatively time-efficient manner, but also this can easily go off onto a tangent that we want to have a whole episode dedicated to, because it is around injury and managing injury, how to recover from it. They do.
No time limit on this shit?
No, we don't, but...
Yeah, I know.
This could easily go into like a 2-3 hour conversation if we didn't count
How do you want to answer this?
So the question is, somebody asked us how can I train around my injury when I can barely bear weight on my foot? I'm starting to take up swimming. So I know this person and they have been through countless issues with their foot. They've had several operations on it. I believe, to my knowledge, it's something to do with having excess bones in their feet and they've had to have it removed. But I don't know if it's a case of they've been messed around with the healthcare system or the healthcare system don't quite know what's really going on.
Don't get political.
Oh no, I don't know how they feel, but like the rehabilitation process hasn't been how he expected. So I understand like he's super frustrated about not being able to exercise because he really enjoys it. And he was a big fan of football, but obviously can't do that anymore because he can't bear weight on his foot. Used to enjoy running, can't do that anymore. So swimming has been his sort of like next port of call because obviously it's lower impact and it doesn't require you to be on your feet all the time. I think it's going to be a good question for you, one, because of your back situation that you were just talking about, but also you used to be a competitive swimmer, so you can give points on like how can he train around that, but also how can he focus on his swimming to improve it? Just getting started. What would you say?
Right. So when I looked at this question initially, I wasn't going to do a deep dive into the swimming side of it, but I can give my opinions on that.
I just think it would be nice to give him something to work to, or like it would be helpful. So it's not like
from that, yeah. So the first of all, does he train? Goes to the gym?
To my knowledge, I don't think consistently at the moment, but it's because he's not sure what he can do.
Right. Okay. Cool. Then then I can segue into that. So the first thing is, even though like this injury sucks, you can't bear weight on it, he's gone through surgeries, it's a shitty thing. In 99% of cases, there is always a way to work around it. There's always something that you can do. There's also some way we can adapt, pivot, that kind of thing. I've had to do that with my back. Sometimes I couldn't do, like
spine's pretty pivotal to most movements.
Yeah. So like, a lot of back movements.
There is hope, is what I meant by that statement.
For sure, because like it's just you have to meet. Because he's doing it himself. You have to meet yourself where you're at, type thing. Don't set expectations. Don't try and push too quick. Just take it day by day, session by session. So I'd say, obviously, because we are into the gym strength training world, I would say definitely go to the gym. The beauty about going to a gym is you've got loads of machines. So you can't bear weight on your foot, but you've got leg extension, leg curl. So that means the pads on your shin, you don't have to use your foot to move that weight. Like, is it as good as doing squats and deadlifts and leg press and all this kind of stuff? You could make an argument of yes or no, but we're talking about circumstances here. Is doing some leg extensions to work your quads and doing some leg curls to work your hamstrings better than doing fuck all? It most certainly is. And you could maybe could be an argument that by strengthening all those other muscles around the joint, it might improve how you walk and how you carry yourself, because I would imagine you're probably compensating a bit with your foot.
Mm-hmm.
So there's other things of doing that. Can we strengthen all the other musculature around your legs, calf, whatever, all that kind of shit to try and help you with your walking? So definitely leg extensions, leg curls. It might be a case of
adductor and abductor as well. It doesn't require pressure on your feet. Yeah, but you don't have to put too much pressure on it. It's more.
Yeah. So, but then there's a case to be maybe you could do a leg press, but it'd be a case of like feet, but like playing around with it. Maybe that you'll never be able to load it heavy. But you could just.
I was going to say load management takes a massive.
Whatever, but it's almost like one of these things where you have to do a certain degree of fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Like what can you do and what can't you do? If you can do a thing, is it a 4 out of 10 for pain? If we're going above that, no, sack it off, do something else. Is it a case of you can do it, but it has to be light? So it is really shit, and it is because I've been kind of where people like you've been, but just in a different circumstance, my back and stuff. And basically, when I fucked up my back, the next day I could barely bend far enough to tie my shoelaces. Like getting up and down was hard. Like it felt like someone stabbed me in the back. It fucking sucked. Like being able to go from lifting all the stuff you want to do and then to have that taken away, it's shit. I get it. But it would just see what you can do, play around, see what it feels like. Can you do I'll probably not do a squat because it's whatever, but like there's a Smith machine. Can you do a Smith machine squat, and does that feel comfortable on your foot? Like the only way you're going to find these stuff out is by fucking around and finding out. And like if you want some stuff and help with that, reach out to us because we're more than happy to do that. But I do think training your lower body to some degree is going to be hella important. It's just what can you do and what can't you do. Swimming's a great one because
Just note it. Sorry, just before you go on to that, and I was just going to say upper body. Obviously, for the majority, you can continue.
Sorry, I was doing it specifically.
Just that wasn't clear, but I feel like it is obvious. But just in case,
again, but it might be some of those things where potentially, because in some upper body movements, you have to use your feet a bit, like benching to set up. You have to put pressure. So it might be not avoid it. Well, again, like. There's always a way around it, When you're injured, it's just what can we do, what can't we do, what hurts it, what doesn't hurt it, what ranges of motions feel crap, and what amount of weight feels crap, and just pivot.
I think a lot of that comes down to as well, like how much do you want to do this? Like, because if you want to do this, there's always where there's a will, there is a way. I'm the biggest believer in that. There is absolutely a way to work around it. But if it comes down to is it you don't think you can, or you don't think your foot can cope, or is it you don't feel confident to try it? Because there's a difference, and there's no right or wrong answer. Both are very valid, but also recognize is this me mentally getting in my own way, or is this physically me in my own way? Because the physical one you can work around, mental one you can also work around, but obviously the approach is going to be slightly different.
And also it's the fear of judgment as well. I'd imagine there's a certain degree of you don't want to go into a gym, and there might be that you have to adapt exercises and they look different, and because a lot of people are educated,
oh my gosh, yeah,
and because people aren't educated, they'll be like, what the fuck is this?
What was he doing? He's doing it wrong. Fuck off, I'm doing it right for me.
I've done some weird shit in the gym, and it's legit exercises, but because they're not common for the masses, it looks fucking weird. I don't give a fuck. It's making me better, and I'll happily educate you on why it's making me better and why I'm doing it. So the other thing as well, if it's something where you want to do squats and you can do squats, but you may have to do something back where you choke a band around the top of a rack, so you're getting some assistance out of it. To some people, that'd be like, oh, what the fuck is he doing body weights? Why is he doing that? Who gives a fuck? If this is what you can do, and this is you meeting you where you're at, fuck them. I don't care. I'll bark at them. Hi, I'm Ian. I'll follow you around the gym. I'll be with you. Anyone that gives you dirty looks, I'll fucking bark at them.
Come to the swimming.
95% of those fuckers don't know what the fuck they're doing anyway. So they're totally different tangent. I was coaching someone. I once had a PT tell when I had someone bench pressing, and obviously you're getting scapped in that position, arching your back. She was like, "Don't do that. That's bad for your back. Your spine is naturally curved." And this was
not made of glass.
And this was coming from a fucking
level 2, level 3.
So this wasn't just someone looking at her in the gym that was a gym goer. This was someone that was about to teach a class, and as she walked past, she went, "Oh, don't bend your back on the bench." It's you're a fucking stupid shithouse that got your paper level 3 PT, whatever bollocks. It drives me insane. It's but then because the one that was doing it didn't know, she couldn't answer back. I want to be there when these people do it, so you can.
You were though, you know?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was. I wasn't coaching. It was someone that I was helping, but I wasn't coaching. It's someone that giving tips and but I knew them well, and they came in and were "Oh, that woman just said this is bad." I'm like, no, it's not.
Did you correct the PT?
She was teaching a spin class. She just literally walked past her.
I don't fucking tell her after.
I know there is, but to a degree, these people are so fucking stupid. It's you can't argue with her.
But now you're responsible for whatever bullshit she spews to other people because you didn't call her out.
Yeah, I should have gone
Your
back.
fault.
It's totally my fault. But yeah, all I'm saying is don't be afraid of doing these things, because there's people out there that don't have a fucking clue. And some of these people that don't have a fucking clue are the people with the certificates, because we know the spine has a curve in it, and actually setting the shoulder blades is naturally going to create a bit of an arch in the spine. It's not bad. As long as it's not causing you pain, it's not bad. If it is causing you pain, work out where you're not mobile, which is probably going to be some T-spine or lumbar, whatever, and sort that out and fix that. But anyway, don't be scared of looking, quote unquote, like you're doing something stupid, because there's so many fucking idiots out there that don't know what they're doing. They don't know their arse from their elbow. They're stupid. Anyway, the swimming. Good one, because it's non-weight bearing. So obviously if putting pressure and walking around and doing some of those things like squats and leg presses cause you discomfort, doing something where you're in water, it's going to take some of your weight, is a nice way to do some kind of cardio and get yourself moving without making that pain worse. Again, it might be a case of fucking around with strokes, because that sounds weird out of context. And seeing what does and doesn't irritate you, because obviously you've got freestyle, which is up and down, you've got breaststroke side to side. It might be that certain ways that you're moving your feet, even in the water, is causing irritation. So it's finding out what you can do. You can even do stuff, you can get, I can't remember what the fuck they're called, but we did them in training, where you basically put it's like a special float that you put in between your legs. So then you don't have to kick, you can just focus on doing arm strokes.
Oh yeah, I mean.
So, yeah. So it's a way of if initially the foot movement causes you pain, just take your feet out of it. And like, yeah, obviously you're not using your legs, but you're still getting some cardiovascular. You're still
I was going to
moving.
say, all of this is still going to be improving your cardiovascular system.
Yeah.
It's going to help with weight management. It's going to help you get fitter. It's going to help you get stronger, even if it's not, your foot will still be getting stronger, like by you doing a little bit of movement.
Yeah.
But, your body won't take a hit because of it. Your core, your other lower body muscles.
But even within the swimming, there's like, if you need to make adjustments and regressions or to meet yourself where you're at, there's plenty of ways to do that. It might
a hell of a lot better than doing fuck all.
I mean,
mentally
again,
as well.
in some pools, it's a bit whatever. Usually, like if you're in like a session, you swim in lengths. But if initially you're a bit unsure, you don't know that, if you need to be somewhere where you can touch the floor because you don't, you just do widths.
Yeah.
Just do widths in the shallow end, so you know that if you
do widths or do the lane that's closer to the side, so you can hold on to
the side. But there's always ways to pivot it, and yeah, it's just don't get frustrated with where you're at, because I've done that. And when you're an idiot like me and you get frustrated, you want to push things when you're not ready, and that's when you make things 10 times worse. So it's like, just accept the fact, like, you have this, you don't know what it is. Do I call it condition? I'm trying to find, is condition
I don't know if it's a condition. Well, I don't even think they are 100% of what it is, because the recovery process is not.
You have this thing going on with your foot.
Yeah.
And that is where you're at, and that's the cards you've been dealt. And it's like, it sucks and it's shit, but this is where you're at. Now the question is, what can we do with the hand that you've been dealt?
Yeah.
And there is something. And who's to say that by doing a bit of this, it helps things?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know, but it's just, and again, it comes kind of back to the little bit. Set yourself some little goals.
Yeah.
Like, get yourself motivated. If it's just doing leg extensions and leg curls.
But like, if that means you're getting to the gym like 2 to 3 times a week, then what you were doing nothing before, then that's mega, and you should be super proud of that. Or if it's you getting to the swimming pool once a week, or 2-3 times a week, whatever you enjoy most, that is a completely valid goal. And you being able to complete 50 meters in the pool, if you're finding it difficult and can't use your fucking legs, that's considerable. And you build on from that. You build to 100, 200, and then work your way to a kilometer. If you can swim a kilometer with just your arms, you're going to be gaining something. Because, I'm not saying that. Your likelihood is you're going to be able to use your legs. But, in the early stages as well, I think something to consider as well that we didn't quite touch on, but ease yourself into it. Graded exposure is going to be super important, because ultimately the load management is going to be super important here. So don't do too much too quick. Go in very conservatively, because you can always build up, but you don't want to risk making it worse and having to pull back right at the start, because that's also going to knock your confidence. That's also going to knock your motivation. 2 things that you are probably already quite low with right now. Yeah, ease yourself into it. Do stuff that you can do and that you can enjoy and you're comfortable with. Ask for help.
We're here. The thing is with anything, there's a lot of context, isn't there? And we don't know what you've tried and haven't tried. We don't know. We don't know exactly what causes the discomfort. If it's a pressure thing, if you're moving the foot for a certain period of time, that's what brings it out. So
we should probably put a disclaimer as well that this isn't in replacement of physiotherapy advice.
This is not medical advice.
Yeah, it's not medical.
Purely our opinion. This is purely what.
No, but we can still help you train around injury to get you fitter and stronger around that. We're not saying we're going to be able to fix your foot, but I think that's already obvious. Just thought I should say that.
Yeah. Good, don't come at us. But yeah, it's one of those things where we could probably, to give a hyper-specific answer, I don't know how to create English, we'd probably need a lot more context. So, if you've listened to this and you think you're liking what we're saying, you want a bit more, message us. Message the Instagram, message us individually. This is all about giving back to you guys. We want to help. If you want some suggestions on stuff, if you want to give us a bit more information so we can be a lot more specific with the answers, feel free to do that. But I think it's literally just lower body stuff initially. Use stuff, do exercise machines that don't use your foot, so leg curls, leg extensions, because the pad sits either on the front of the shin or back of the leg near the calf, so there's no direct contact with your foot. Same with the adductor abductor, it's mainly going to be in your thighs, and your feet are just on the machine for support. And then the swimming, it's just what can you do leg kicks without it hurting, and if you can't do leg kicks without it hurting, either breaststroke or trunk roll, get the float and put it in between your legs, or just cross your legs and just focus on your arms, so that you're still getting some cardio and you're still moving, but you're not making that pain worse.
Also, just to put this into perspective, this isn't like a comparative thing, but I feel like this is probably just an end note. Like, if you just want that encouragement, or if you want that like boost of motivation, or that, because I imagine right now you're probably comparing yourself to able-bodied people who don't have this problem, and you're like, God, I just wish I could be like them. I just wish I could be like old me who could go and do these things without pain. Like, Paralympians make it work. People with no fucking legs make it work. And if they can get in better physical condition, like with missing limbs, of course you can do it. Like, I'm not going to say it's easy, and I'm not saying, you know, what you're feeling right now isn't valid. Of course it is. And of course, like, you need to take certain considerations around it, but use that to your advantage and use that for inspiration. Use that as motivation to show that, of course, there is something you could do about it. And, you know, you don't have to sacrifice your health, your fitness, your strength, your well-being, your mental well-being because of this situation that you've got going on.
But then to like generalize that as well, just talking about injuries in general, it's like injuries suck. Like, I've experienced them, you've experienced them. I think the majority of people that have been training for a significant amount of time have experienced some kind of injury. In 99.9% of cases, there is always something that you can do. An injury doesn't mean you have to take a month off. An injury means, where am I at? What can I do? What can't I do? And let's start the rebuild process from where we're at day one and go from there. It's like Hannah says, if you want to do it and it's something that you actually want to do, you will find a way to do it. If you're going to use it as a way to be like, oh, I'm tapping out, you're going to do that as well. But like, the fact that you are already saying like you're doing up something to work around it shows to us that you give a fuck. So
Yeah,
this
the
is like,
desire's there. It's just knowing how.
It's just knowing what to do. And hopefully that helped. If you want a bit more specific stuff,
drop us a message.
This is what we love. We're
here all day.
We're nerds for this shit. We like helping people, and actually, it's good for us as well because
it's fun. We love this shit because this is what actually we should need our brain for this.
It makes us think. How do we fucking work?
All those shit we read, all of that information we absorb. We're like, finally, we can use this.
Yeah.
So we love this shit. But I think that's good to stop there.
Hey, look at that. We'll keep this one short and sweet. An hour and 4 minutes later.
Alas, we just can't shut up and we just want to talk. To be fair, I've had like 2 days of not being able to yap properly. So, and look, my voice is held up. It's going a little bit. I can feel that my throat's getting a bit sore.
Well, I hope I don't get it because I said this morning.
I think he's going to get it. He's just coughed. It's all right, guys. I've got loads of Lemsip here I can give him, and Strepsils and ibuprofen, and
guess what, bitch?
Oh, pack it in. That's not the encouragement we're going out with. I'm going to figure out how I can do that.
Why?
Because that's not what we're trying to encourage here.
You said it in that post.
But we don't want to encourage or promote or advocate people training through illness. That's not what we do.
Yeah, but you've been fine. You've just lost your
I have been fine, but you wouldn't tell me.
Fine. Disclaimer. It's always context dependent, guys. You could have, if you have a little cold, that's fine. If you have full-blown swine flu, probably don't.
Yeah, fair.
If you have...
Yeah, like, actually, I might know, like, the rest of me has been fine. Mentally, I've been fine. Yeah. The rest of my physical
I've seen Han before when she's like being ill and she's like, Alex, I'm going to have to take a few days off. When I messaged you on that first day and you were like, yeah, I'm training. I feel fine. It's just my voice.
Yeah, it was literally just my voice.
I've seen you when you're ill and you've had to actually take time off and you were like dying. You were like, couldn't get
I couldn't get off the sofa.
You couldn't get off the sofa. And you were like, maybe she does need to take a few days.
That was scary because I was 2 weeks out from comp.
No.
Anyway, I think that we finished there. Any last words?
Don't do drugs.
Catch you next week. Peace.